What's up, guys? Swift Coding back here with another video. The past two lessons we have been we have been learning about functions, and what we've been learning about are the following two things: accessibility modifiers and just the syntax. So let's just go over the purpose. Here's also a bit of code we wrote last time. I meant on the first part, so you don't forget the syntax. That's how you call a function, and that's how you write it. So today we're going to be learning about parameters. Now this lesson is going to be based on pretty much the only point to use functions. So let's go over the purpose of functions first. A function is used to make your code smaller and easier. So a function. So let's the function. Let's write a function. Let's just make a public void. Wait, let's just make it a void. Let's call it func. Ooh, okay. So func. Now let's just call it here. Now func, we can put anything in there, but a question is, func. Oh yeah, since this is static, we need to make this static. Sorry. So, a question that has been asked before is all the code that's been written in a function, can't you just copy and paste that exact same code? Well, that is an option in programming, but it's not that option is not used because of big compilers, because your program will be slower and, well, more glitchy and laggy if there's so much code. So, and for example, if we had console.writeLine in here, then hi. There's no harm in putting console.writeLine hi 5 times. What I can do is I can just put a for loop. I can just make a for loop and put my function in there. So that makes the code much easier for the compiler and much easier to understand. So instead of just copying this and pasting it 5 times, we can just put a for loop and make it run 5 times. So today we're going to be learning about something called parameters. So there's a parameter when you first load. There are two names for it: arguments and parameters. So string args, that's the parameter that this void comes with. You don't use it because it's something in the code. Like, it's something in the code. No one uses it. You can if you find out what it does. I don't even know what it does. It's not. I'm guessing it's not really that useful though, because all the other code I've seen doesn't use it. So a parameter, how is that written? So a parameter is written. We can have unlimited parameters. So let's make a string in here. In between the two brackets that you call the function, or not call the function, that you make the function in, you write your parameters. So if I write string and then its name, we can't write value, because a value is when it's called. You'll see what I mean in a bit. So now let's make this string greeting. So the console.writeLine is gonna write the greeting, which is that, but we can see we have an error here. Let's go see the phone. There is no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter greeting of, that's our function. So what that means is that we haven't given the value. So function, and then so we just give it the thing there. So let's make it hi. Now because we just write value of the thing. We can also make let's make an integer. We just int a. We put a comma in between all of our parameters, but we don't put a comma if there's only one. So we have two parameters. One is an integer. We also do the exact same thing. We go boom like that. Just a comma, and then we write 5. So this looks much different than this line. So what this does is this makes greeting equal hi, and this makes a equal 5. So let's put this in a bit of code. Let's make a function that writes the greeting for the a amount of times. So let's make a equals a. That's just an easy way. Or we don't even have to write it. We can just write the condition, because that's not the. Oh, I'm not sure if I explained this in the for loop video, but you don't need a condition or an iteration. It's only this. It's only the condition. Oh wait, no, I meant you don't need to call any variables, or you don't need an iteration. You only need the condition that it's gonna run on, like a for loop, but it's used for like iteration. So let's just make it a equals a for basic reasons, and then let's make a over 0 and a minus minus. Let's just put a space. It's really creeping up my OCD. Now let's write console.write line. Then we write greeting. So for however many times, if we called it like that, what that would do would that would write console.write. It would write the greeting, and we have a loop that goes for a amount of times. Let's see, a equals 5. So it will basically just write the greeting, and it will just write it 5 times. So if we go ahead and write that after we write console.read line, so we can view our output, let's go see. Just loading. See, as we can see, it wrote hi 5 times, because if we go ahead and check, we made greeting equal hi and a equal 5. We can easily change that. We can make this 10, and we can make this by, and it will just write by 10 times. So there's your first fully written function. You've learnt the accessibility modifiers. You've learnt the syntax. You've learnt parameters, which are pretty much the reason to use functions. So hope you enjoyed. See you all in the next tutorial. Bye.